Hello everyone, welcome back to SPR Pythons. Today we're at MJ's,
Hey
so I don't know when you guys are going to be seeing this, but I thought, you know, at the time for recording I've got my eggs due to sort of pip, I've got a clutch due to lay. I thought I've got to get out there, do something with snakes or else I'm going to go insane. So, you know, Jay and Marv, I just realised I've named that the wrong way. Jay's behind the camera, of course. They're about an hour and 10 minutes, I think, roughly, I would say, about that from me. So I thought, right, I've got no excuses, I'm getting down here. They've not got any pied stuff, so I might have to come back a little bit, you know, later on in the season.
But we can satisfy his pie urge then.
They've got eggs, so I know it's coming, you know. I know, it's not as if they're not trying. Bless your heart. You're not there yet, But no, I just thought that I'd come down. I mean, to be fair, I've been here a couple of hours. We had Python Junkie here as well.
Yeah.
Just talking snakes. We should have probably set the camera up then, but to be fair, we forget, you know, it's so easy to forget.
You know how it is, you start talking snakes and you just go, and we've been talking at it for hours.
Literally hours as well.
And just having a laugh, it's a great time.
Yeah, like normal to be fair. But what we're doing, we're just going to do a general tour to be fair. I think what's fascinating for me about MJ and Jay is that MJ and Jay. I don't know. I'm losing it.
About MJ
That's
now.
kind of both of you, isn't it? It's both of you. Marv and Jay is that they keep a variety. So obviously with me, I'm very, very specific in not only pied, but I only do the royals because space limitations, I can't do anything else. You know, I've just been saying to these guys, monitors, rhino iguana is at the top of my list when I move out, things like that. You know, I do want to explore. These guys have the ability to do that, and I've got some different species that I can show you. So that's kind of what we're going to do. But like most people have seen this room, but if they haven't, what's going on here?
Yeah, exactly. So we can
doggo.
Yeah,
Dogs are always.
Dogs are always in it, man. What are you working towards? I mean, it's the general question of what are you working towards, but there's a hell of a lot of tags in here, and I mean, you sent me a picture the other day of all the animals that you're breeding, and you know that whole separation from the first to the second sort of side of the season hasn't worked for you guys. I don't have that problem, thankfully.
No.
You know, I've got enough to just keep me a little bit occupied, get my hand in the mix sort of thing. But these guys have got quite a few going on. I think 2 of them helps, but what have you got?
Yeah. So, I mean, like you said, we're trying to do a 50, well, we're doing a half and half split. We were trying to. One tip that we learned, they don't follow your rules. They'll follow their rules. No. So they're all going at the same time. But no, we're working on a few projects. I know yourself, you're very into the pied, and you know, I admire the fact that you've got that focus, because I know I could never have that focus of one gene. So we're working on...
Discipline, that's a good word for it, I like that, yeah.
Discipline. I'm not disciplined, I just keep buying. Any breeders out there?
I don't know, I keep buying. Discipline doesn't mean you don't buy, but...
No, it just means you don't buy everything that's offered to you.
Yeah, no, that's true, that's true.
So, essentially working on a few things. We're working on some pied stuff, working on some clowns, as our recessive, some ghosts, some blackhead stuff in there. And then we're just sort of playing around, you know, we've got the banana GHI boy to a few things. We're just basically... as it were, we're playing around what we've got. We've finally decided a particular focus. I know I've shown off Crazy Boy, and you know what? I'll put it
get him out, I was going to say, yeah.
From Ross Mickey. He was one of the animals who helped focus us on the het relizanthic stuff. So, het relizanthic, I mean, this is a pastel leopard spot nose het relizanthic, and as you might know, he was bred to the pastel het relizanthic, whose eggs are in an incubator. We know that was slugged out for us, but we talked about that mistake.
Yeah, no, that's,
But he's got, he's also hopefully going to go to that Fireman girl and to the Pinstripe girl. So we'll see what happens there.
Pinstripe would be nice in that.
Pinstripe would be nice, and she has been pairing to the Black Pastel GHI. Okay. So it was like a late switch. So I'm not fussed either way, but it's...
Yeah, but the last male normally gets it done sometimes, to be fair. Yeah, I mean, if we're, you know, we'll be hopeful.
I'm happy either way.
What I really like about this ball, before we put them away, is... you guys have all seen my Pastel Leopard Blade Post Double Het, which is, I always say it's one of the star attractions at SPR because everyone just is so eye-pleasing. This is very similar, just add the spot nose and obviously that het red xanthic and how much brighter it is. It's almost like it's got the same pattern, but it's just more sort of yellowy white. I just think that's incredible. You know, as again, it's just adding those few extra genes and how much of a difference it makes for me.
And that het red, obviously being a co-dominant gene, but the het red does influence it a lot with the sort of the redness in the dorsal. It opens up that dorsal stripe and gives a lot of that nice coloured blushing. So hopefully we'll see what full relizanthic happens with this boy. May hit it, may not fussed, to be honest.
Worth a shot.
It's the fun, isn't it?
Yeah.
If we hit it, amazing. If
that not knowing, I think, is incredible. And again, this is Darren. I know is very keen on this. It's not necessarily here because it's a codon, but the het stuff of not knowing what you're going to hatch, and it's the same with the codons. You know, instead of going down the het route, you've got the multiple codons, and therefore, how many genes can you stack before it becomes something you can't really see what's going on? But at the same time, you just don't know what you're going to get, and that's ultimately what we all do this for. Now this, I personally think this is incredible, but you guys are a little bit like, is this the one that you're a little like, oh, is there a little bit too much going on?
Jay loves her, and don't get me wrong, really like her. But this is one of the things that I say about what happens when you stack too many jeans. I call it the static, because it does become very staticky in appearance. Now she's a super pastel, spider, fire, pinstripe, so just spinner superfly. And sorry, by the way, if that was palsy, people, so bear with me here. But she's a stunning girl. What we've done with her is she's probably genetically our female with the most number of genes. So what better way to use a really powerful female like her than breed her to a visual pastel clown boy?
Yeah.
You make those really nice heads. And that's the plan with this girl. So really looking forward. I mean, you know, what does Billy call it? His army. You're building his army. So we're building our army.
Building his clown army.
And she's got some nice sized follicles at the moment.
Speaking of which, we're not slacking. Just a little. If we're gonna shout Billy out, we're not slacking here. we're not. No, we're not.
No, we don't slack. I think we both don't.
I'm gonna pull this one out. You continue talking about whatever you want, Marv. But this is one that Marv showed me earlier.
So that's actually a perfect draw for you to open. So that is a.
Look at that, guys. That's incredible. The yellows and purple on there.
This draw right here represents mine and Jay's like individual passions in one.
Yeah.
So Jay is and I've mentioned this before, he's very into the champagne, and we're very, very excited to see where we can take the champagne. And we actually got this from a gentleman's clothing lines collection. So we got it through Darren Hughes over at Neighbours Constructors. There you go. My mind's slowing down here. So we got her as one of the females to really play a role in that. But we have some really exciting projects we're working on the champagne. Hopefully to show that champagne, there is so much yet undone to it. And that's Jay. I give that to Jay because I can't take all of it.
Yeah, I mean, champagne's close to my heart. My second Royal was a champagne.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, something went wrong there. Very similar to loads of people where you literally walk in one day and it's gone. No idea what's happened, and unfortunately it does happen in the hobby. But champagne is close to my heart for that. But I'm going to also do what you did to me earlier. Again, it's another fantastic representation of what I was saying about earlier, how even one gene makes that difference. This is a Champagne Inchi and then a Champagne Mimosa, which is adding the ghost. And you can see just that ghost influence is phenomenal. And I think the really nice thing about you guys' collection is having so many genes involved, because I'm obviously very focused, but having so many genes involved, you see them, you get more of those opportunities to see how one gene can make an influence. Because pieds, you know, as you were saying, you know, a firefly pied compared to a normal pied that's high white, sometimes it's like, well, yeah, they're different, but they're not too different. So this is a very good representation of how they can be different.
And then it's, you know, the firefly. We're getting to the Desert Ghost project now. We picked up a couple of animals. But mine is the firefly. My goal, if we're talking about goals, he has his.
He's off.
Yeah, he's off. My goal is by...
Get in there quick.
At some point, I'm not putting a time to it. I would love for my own collection, whether I breed them or I don't breed them.
Yeah, should we count them?
I'd like a firefly in the different recessives. We're hopefully hitting a firefly pied.
One of each.
A clown,
I mean,
desert ghost, puzzle. Puzzle. A little bit. We'll give it a little bit of time. The ghost, that kind of stuff. Firefly. So she was my second ever royal. So I had my second ever royal was a firefly, and I've been in love with that girl since.
Yeah. No, that's fair enough. It's a nice story as well, to be fair. It's like, and it's not one of those amazing genes.
No.
In terms of even codon, you could be like, oh, confusion's amazing, and you know, all these things like that. But it's so simple. It's just two of the most common
fire and
out
pastel.
There, to be fair, but that's what you want to go with. So I give you all the credit in the world for that. But in terms of moving it around a bit, because everyone's seen royals and people can go to your channel and see them. What else have you got going on? Obviously, apart from the dog on the sofa.
From the collapsed dog on the sofa. He's had enough of our talking. You were mentioning these, and I said, you know what? I will open them, but I will open them when the camera's running. This is actually the boy, and he is the nicest of the bunch. So these are bamboo rat snakes. An incredible species we've only just begun to work with. And you notice there they've actually got no heating.
Yeah.
They are very, very cool species from very high altitudes. And actually this room, at its normal temperature, is at the very top of their hot heat spot. So we're trying actually to think about moving them somewhere even cooler than this room, because they need to be kept cool.
It's that thermoregulation again, isn't it? Really?
Exactly.
Giving them that option.
And it's not all snakes are hot.
On that animal, that's incredible.
So this is the male, and he's a nice banded animal. Go up. So he's a nice banded animal, and he's coming for a shed because they're usually quite like the reds are really red. He's actually the calmest of the bunch. The females are lunatics, and I'll bring out a female because there's no way I'm doing that. But there are different subspecies. So
my mind's blown right now.
this is the girl. She's the one who made me squeal on one of our lives. And luckily, she's just shed. She also, I will warn you, is going to jump. As soon as I touch her, she's going to try and bite me.
Oh, look at that. The red's on there.
But she, all right, lovely. She's the striped variety.
Yeah,
so she's
look
the
at
striped
that.
locality. And very similar to some of like the boa species. Although they're different localities, they do interbreed a lot.
Yep.
And they're, from what I've been told and what I've seen, the crossbreeding between, I'm sorry that I can't remember the Latin names for it because I know they're different localities and I'm still working on that. But they are, they produce some incredible results when you breed these stripy ones to that. And the other girl there is exactly the same as the boy. But they're feistier than your usual snake. They're much quicker. You can see she's not really being a nipper today for me, which is, she tried there.
She's just nipped you.
They're muskers. If anyone's ever had a snake that
nice.
musks, they really like to musk. Very, very fast and very much love their food.
We're back in a different room now, guys, as you guys will notice. This is, I mean, hatchling / other reptiles room. That's kind of what I've just kind of named it within my few hours here. But I've moved in here because these guys, as I said at the start of the video, have got some stuff which I think is awesome. The monitors, I mean, it's incredible. These are some of the species that I really want to get into eventually. Now, I probably won't be able to sort of dedicate a room to it like Marv and Jay have been, but this one here, like the spiky tails, I mean, you had it sort of, touching it earlier and stuff, and I've obviously not got the experience with any of this, but that is just so cool to me.
Hello.
Look at that.
You gonna say hi?
That's
Little
incredible, man. Absolutely incredible.
He was another rescue, wasn't
Yeah.
I was going to say, is most of this sort of stuff here than rescue, so I know he's telling me this one was, because
That
obviously these
one-
guys do a lot of rescue work as well, which I credit all the world to you guys for it.
I sometimes prefer giving animals a home that didn't have or had a home that wasn't ideal or no longer wanted. So a lot of these are. I mean, the tortoises are not. Burma wasn't.
They're pets.
But like, he was our most recent rescue. This young boy here, he was my first rescue back years ago when I was with my mum. And he's got a clubfoot and he had a massive sore when we took him. But there's a lot of animals we buy for our own personal. The rainbow boas, the carpet pythons, the rhino rat snake.
Have you got rainbows in it, have you?
3 rainbow boas
Yeah,
in here.
I've been here for like 5 hours. I'm still missing things, guys.
So I say to them,
They never out.
They never out, ever. Come at night and they're out like crazy. They use every inch. Come in the day and they sit.
Are they fully grown? Oh, look, they're
They're
Subs. I'll
a
say
year,
they're about
year and a
subs.
half.
That's sick, man.
Come, lovely. She's in shed.
That is so
But
cool.
I know people have, some people have issues with cohabitation. A lot of people do keep rainbow
Trios.
boas together in trios.
Right.
We never feed them in the same enclosure, obviously. We always feed them separately. It's the only species we've ever cohabitated, and it's only recently we had them we had them separate as babies, didn't we?
Yeah.
And we introduced them for a short time. Thought give them a little bit longer to grow. They're obviously not going to be breeding anytime soon.
I was going to say, have you got plans to breed them? Because I know that there's quite a short supply of Brazilian rainbows in the UK, so it might be an opportunity for you guys to...
They will be, a lot of the animals you notice, especially the ones we buy in, I buy in trios. I buy 2 girls and a boy. Because not necessarily do I sit there thinking, oh, well, that's, they're not the cheapest of animals anymore. There's not that many. I don't sit there thinking, oh, I can make a quick buck. But they're species that I want to work with. Any species I get.
Come on.
And this one's in shed, which is a shame.
Yeah.
Let me get one that isn't in shed. And I know we did a species. Let me take this one.
Gonna get it.
And the thing is, they love to sit under the same. Here you go. Here's another one.
Look at that. That one's not in share. Clearly, there's a difference there, isn't there?
But weirdly, they are all different to each other in the sense of I can tell them apart.
Right.
So the big girl.
I can admit I can't.
There, by the way, salt, pepper, and cumin are their names.
Hang on, cumin. Where's that come from?
Salt and
I
pepper
understand.
were named,
We just
and
went
then
for
I
spices.
hadn't named the boy.
Oh, right, fair enough.
So I just went, screw it, cumin. So the cumin is the boy, salt and pepper are the girls.
Right.
And I've never had an issue with them. I've never had, I mean, when they're little, they are cooler species, and one of the big mistakes people make,
They're hard to get
especially as
going.
little, is if you keep them too warm or too dry, they do not last long.
Right.
They need high humidity. Obviously, you don't want them sopping wet, and you'll notice that we got them in an Exoterra because actually what happens is it creates like a soak away.
Yep.
So where they sit isn't damp, but it soaks under, so that humidity is always rising.
Yeah.
They've also got no heat. There's no heat in that viv.
Oh, I was going to say
All
it's
the
the light
heat-
on top heat, but...
No, all the heat comes from below.
Right.
And we've taken the temperatures, and it's about 85, 86 under that hide, which is what they want. They don't want higher than that. And you can feel feel quite cool in comparison to those species. But they
Yeah, but
they
not
thrive.
cold. Not
No,
cold.
they're not ice cold,
Yeah.
but they're cooler species. But but they're amazing animals.
They're incredible. I'll be this is the first time I've had a Brazilian rainbow in my hands. I've always been fascinated by them, but as I've said, they're so. I mean, I've struggled to find sort of a breeder of them in the UK. I've seen them, but like you've just said, they're hard to get going. And the only ones I've seen are babies from JB at Morph City Reptiles, and obviously he wasn't handling them because of everything going on, sort of getting them feeding. So it's really cool to have one in my own hands, to be fair. Again, another species that I might get into is have they pied one of this? I think they've done the pied of these. These
I
are
don't know about pied. There is a calico version.
Calico,
that looks,
yeah.
That looks.
I think someone named it as a pied once, and that's where I saw it, and I was like, "Whoa!"
They do pied retics.
Pied retics. I'm not a big snake guy. I'm not a big snake guy, me. Beautiful animals these are though.
And they've done really well. Like I said, they're about a year and a half, coming up to 2 years now, Jay.
Yeah, I'd say so.
And they've done so well for us.
Yeah.
They're...
I love the naturalistic look you've got going in this room, by the way, boys. I'm just going to put that out there. It's incredible.
There would be more live plants, but the animals...
That's a shot right there. Look
yeah,
at that.
There you go. They're entering together. But the live plants, we've tried, and what happens is the animals obviously kill the plants, and what ends up happening is decays. So I just try to find the most naturalistic looking to add in.
Yep.
Like, you know, you've seen the one downstairs, they're all live planted, but the girl doesn't really come to the ground. They're safe from her. In these, when they come out at night, like now they're all going to disappear again. Right now, when they're investigating and going around, etc. You know, I want them to have that foliage, it looks aesthetically pleasing, but also at the same time, I don't want them to create a cesspool of rotten veg in there.
Yeah. That's fair. I mean, that's pretty much. I don't want to show off everything you've got. Save some of it for you guys, but just sort of a little insight. Maybe I'll come back and look at it a little bit further. I'm going to end it by sorting my own fix out because my babies aren't here yet. So I have to look at a baby. I can't have my own. So these are obviously the super fires you've just hatched out. Are they feeding everything for you guys yet? Or?
So this particular lady and the other
picked
one.
a bad one, have I?
Wow, yeah.
Well, not a bad one, a bit more.
She's really shy and she hasn't really quite taken to food yet. The others are on their third meal now. In terms of the other, so out of 10, 8 fed from as soon as they shed, they ate straight away.
Yeah.
These guys are taking a little bit longer, but it does happen. Some of them take a little bit longer to get going. Once they get going, sometimes it's that first meal, especially like strike. So when they strike feed, if you assist feed them, it doesn't necessarily always trigger the food response.
Yeah, because
once they have their first independent strike feed, they're usually solid.
Yeah.
And like I think I mentioned before, we do the whole 7 feeds thing. So we don't give it, well, even offer anything until it's had the 7 feeds. But these guys are doing, they hatch and you can see she's not eating at all. And she is really chunky for a baby.
Yeah. You know what I'm standing there thinking, this is absolutely crazy, is that this video is going to be going out. I'm not sure when this video is going to be going out, but by the time this goes out, my first cutting video should be out. Yeah. So I'm sitting there saying, I'm getting my fix right now, and they're probably going to be confused. But, but I promise I came and saw these before. But yeah, I'm as I said at the start of the video, I'm getting itchy now. I've done 52. What am I on today? 50. Why am I asking you? I'm on day 53. It was the first time was yesterday, driving home from work. I realised there's a chance of me getting home and having a pip. Yeah. And from then, like the last 24 hours has just been hell because I've just been sitting there thinking, oh, I want a pip now.
He's said this all day. I know the excitement. It doesn't matter, and you'll know this. It doesn't matter how many years or how many animals you breed.
This is my first time as well. That's
excitement,
the thing, isn't it?
especially for the first time, that first cut you're gonna cut.
I'm gonna have to come over here. I was gonna say I can't quite do this. I'm not that talented.
No, we use these. I mean, we had to design this right because little baby ball pythons escape and they know exactly how to open lids and how to get out.
I was gonna say I've had one get out of these, and that I personally, nothing against you, I don't trust those tubs. No. I've only had one escape and it's from one of those tubs. And
so unless they're in a shelf where they cannot lift the lid at all, no matter what they do, because what we
see, I thought I was being smart because I had one come in like that. And what I was doing, I was just quarantining it and sort of in a different room. This was way back when I had about 10 animals, but I still wanted to do the quarantining. Put like 4 elastic bands on. I thought, yeah, they're not that smart. This girl, I was going to say something else there. This girl managed to get all 4 bands off and open this. I was like, whoa.
We had that with the Mexican black king snakes. Now the Mexican black kings are getting bigger. But when these things were
He's going to show you another one here.
Come here.
Another little
Come here, little one. So when these guys were hatchlings when we first got them, it's all right, lovely.
Beautiful.
They were like that small, like a baby corn snake, jet black, and 2 of them got out. Now in this massive house, they could have been anywhere. It was a miracle we found them. And since then we have learned the ways that, because Al got sick and tired of me and Jay having to like move all this to fish out baby royals that were behind this, all this setup, because you cannot move this. This is so heavy. So we used to go there with a hook and try and fish them out. But now with these racks, you learn with time, and I think that's one of the reasons why sometimes, if you will, the professionally made stuff is better for hatchlings. It saves you those little mistakes that could cost you a little one running away.
Yeah.
They very rarely leave anywhere. They're usually very close to where they come out. They find one spot. That's the spot they like.
They climb.
Yeah.
How they climb is truly staggering to me.
Here is the hatchling rack. They came out of the little royals. Came out of one of the top shelves. Obviously came down this way, climbed all the way up somehow, and was behind the bottom of these ones because there's a lip behind these. Was behind there, so they can climb.
My managed to climb a radiator. Get out of the room, go up the stairs because it was down, and up onto the top of a radiator. I was truly baffled. But anyway, as I say, I don't want to show off too much of your stuff because obviously you guys have got a channel. I know that this is some of the stuff that you've not necessarily covered yet. So, but I do appreciate you guys having me down.
You're very welcome at any
and
time.
sorting my fix out.
You're welcome. It's a shame we didn't have anything to pick for you, and you're gonna go home now, and you're gonna be sitting there.
I'm gonna go.
Now,
I'm going home, and the first thing I'm doing is
them.
looking for that female. She laid a clutch of eggs. No, all right, I've still got another shot. Incubator. God, come on. But no, I really appreciate you having me down.
You're very welcome. Anytime, Matt.
Yeah, well, you say anytime. I'll be back down to see if you hitch that pie.
Yeah.
Like, that's definitely. I'm super stoked for you guys.
Thanks,
especially
man.
because that'll be one of the
I'm
ones
really
you
excited
want,
to see what you come out with
Thank
this
you.
year.
Hopefully,
because that's gonna be.
Don't expect too
following-
much because I can't say I can't say a lot of it's going to be for sale. But
Listen.
yeah, I'm excited.
Same.
Yeah. Well, if you're not doing it for your own personal what you want to achieve, you're not in it for the right reasons, are you? So
No.
But anyway, we're rambling. As I say, I think that's my thing now. At the end of every video, I say I'm rambling. Don't know why, but yeah, we're rambling. Leave a comment, leave a like, leave a subscription and bell, and obviously go and check out Marv and Jay's channel. Give some love to Python Junkie, kind of bullied you guys into it as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it was very nice to meet you guys. Obviously,
Pleasure to meet
spoke a
you.
lot, and yeah.
Hopefully next time I'll be so Bell palsy strokey.
Didn't even notice it. Didn't even notice it. I was come down here with a half expectation of you having like an eye patch on and going, "Oh, hey, Captain." But no. I think that's it. Are we done? I know you can talk, so I'm just giving you your moment if you need it.
Oh no! If I start talking, the legs of a back.
All right, we'll end it there then. Thank you very much for watching, guys.
Thank you guys. Take care.